Hey guys, Rachel here. So I have just been in such a mood. Such a mood. This isn't going to be a March wrap up or a recap really, but it's just sort of like I just feel like hanging out and expelling some energy. No, I've been cranky. Like everything's making me irritable. So I just thought like, okay, maybe this would be a good time to talk about some decks that I'm not using or decks that I think I should pass on. Like if I'm not going to use them, I'm sure they'd make somebody else really happy. I'm not sure yet if I'm getting rid of anything, but yeah, I'll just, yeah, I don't even know why I've been in such a mood. I mean, I'm sure I do know why, but yeah, actually, I don't know. So yeah, I'm going to talk about some decks that I'm pretty sure I'm going to get rid of. And then I'll also talk about a few decks that I'm not using, but I don't really have any intention of parting with the decks. And I'm not going to talk about decks that I have every intention of using, but it's just not the right time. Sort of like with books. Sometimes I'll buy a book and I know I'm not going to read it right away because I want to read it at the right time where I'm, acutely perceptive of whatever that message is or that world that I want to enter. You know what I mean? So yeah. Okay. Yeah, so today, I guess, let's just talk about emotions a bit. So the reading that I got today, I used, this is not a deck that I would ever part with, by the way. The Edition Millennium Tarot de Marseille. But just bear with me. I know I'm so scattered energy-wise. This was my reading today. I know that I keep cutting off my own sentences and I'm so scattered, but I don't have to post this. But anyway, so this morning with my journaling, this right off the bat, no prompts at all, I was able to just bam, right off the bat, I got this message. And, if the magician were here, that would be different. But because he's facing away from the Three of Wands, I got like, hang on a second, I think my cat. Okay, sorry, just house disturbances. Anyway, as I was saying, yeah, what I got from it was I'm questioning, like, where is this going? Like, all these plans, these ideas that I had set in motion, I'm thinking, like, is there a point? Because I'm suddenly, like, doubting myself, my intelligence, my abilities, suffering with some self-esteem issues, which we all do from time to time. And also, like, how will all of this impact my legacy? Will there be a result? Like, and where is all of this going? Like, what's the point, basically? But that's just a mood. It doesn't mean that I'm interpreting as that, like, there's no point to this. This is what's going on. But on the bright side, it's like with the 10 of discs here, it's like, trust in the giving and receiving process. And anyway, so that's kind of my mood. Is like this, like kind of, where it was this. Okay. I'm not very articulate in expressing myself tonight, but I really, like I said, I just really kind of wanted to say hi, and I don't know, just felt like a visit. So yeah, I just feel like I've been cleaning a lot, been organizing a lot. I need to really work in this room. I've just accumulated, you know, I'm sure many of you have this problem. I have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of books to organize, and things got out of hand. And especially when I'm creative, which I haven't been lately because, like I said, I keep getting sick, and then after I recover, I can't get back on that tangent right away. So it's a mixture of unfinished art projects and books that have come in, and also materials that I've gathered for videos. Some of the things like are just still kind of sitting here on the floor, but yeah, I need a more breathable space. So I don't remember where I was going with that, but yeah, I've also accumulated, I'm sure as you know, I've accumulated a huge tarot collection, and I never intended to. I was quite minimalist the first couple of years, or more actually. I spent quite a few years with only 3 decks, and then I started watching YouTube videos, and I don't think I even have to say anymore. But yeah, I think it's gotten to the point where I need to store some away, or sell some decks, or gift. So let's see. The Radiant Wise Spirit Tarot, Lo Scarabeo. I love these boxes. I love when they package them this way. So for that reason, I thought I was going to love this deck. I've had this for a while. I think I actually pre-ordered this. I forget when this came out. And I don't. I think I've used this like maybe twice. I don't love it at all. I don't like that these are zoomed in. I don't mind the glossiness of the cards, but I don't think it's the best stock. There's like this like lip all the way around them that I'm worried will, I don't know. Yeah, I don't love it. I much preferred the edition that everyone was showing for a while. A few years ago. It was in this white box, and these had borders, and I don't think it was zoomed in. And I get why they did it. They thought this would be like more mass appealing, but this doesn't do anything for me. If I didn't have any other Rider-Waite decks, then I'm sure I would use it, but I do. So I think this one, yeah, I might part with. I'm probably not going to sell it because I don't think that it's worth anything, but we'll see. Yeah, it's just, it doesn't do anything for me. Not to knock it or anything. And if you love this deck, great, and I get it, but it doesn't do anything for me. This one here, the Wandering Star, I got this because it was at Marshall's a couple of years ago, and at that time I was like, oh my gosh, like a tarot deck at Marshall's. So I picked it up, but I also felt kind of guilty about it because it was just so impulsive. I had seen this online before, and I remembered that when I saw it, I was attracted to it, but then I kind of looked at it more, and I'm like, oh no, I don't need that. So I edged this in green because I thought it would make me love it more, but I just can't connect with it. I like this card. I think it's because I really like this purple background. And it kind of makes me think of like picture books. Maybe this could have gone in that video that I made about favorite picture books. If you're interested in that, I'll try and remember to link it below. But no, this isn't a deck that I use, so of course I didn't think of this deck for that video. I only showed a few decks in that video. It was mainly about picture books, and I definitely forgot to include some. But anyway, I'm being way too long-winded. Yeah, there's something about this aesthetic that should be something that I love, but I'm not connecting with it at all. Like, I really like this card, but then this one, I don't know. I think someone else would be a lot happier with it. I bought like 3 or 4 decks that they had at Marshall's, and I kept the Luna Soul, which I actually thought I'd resonate with this more than the other one, but I actually think that that's the better deck, personally. I hope you can see the cards. And then the other one was, what is it? Everybody knows the deck. Lightseers. I worked with that deck every day for like a week, and I could not connect with it. And I didn't think that I would. I was super aware of it, and it wasn't going to be something that I was going to buy, because I didn't think it was my aesthetic at all. And I can see why everyone enjoys it. If I read for other people, it would probably be a deck that I would keep. But for me personally, I just felt like I wasn't a part of that world. Like, it's not all about me, but I felt like I was looking at Instagram or like Free People ads or something. I don't know, like advertisements for clothing stores. So I'm not trying to knock it, but yeah, I gifted that one. Which that's why I bought like a bundle of decks that were there, so that I could give them to people as Christmas gifts. But I think it's time. I mean, maybe I should give this a chance. I haven't really given it a chance. I thought that I would kind of bond with it through the process of edging the cards, and I just really didn't. But maybe I'll give this a chance. But yeah, it might be time to say goodbye. A deck that I feel really guilty about is this one. I don't know. I kept seeing this somewhere, like, it's probably Instagram. I don't remember when I got this, like 6 months ago or more, maybe a little bit longer than that. And I didn't like the other edition, but this one, the Shadow Edition with the darker colors, oh my gosh, I was like, I just love that deck. But it was funny because I was thinking, like, I shouldn't love that deck because I didn't think that it was something for me. And the reason is, well, I don't want to say it, actually. I don't want to say why I thought it wasn't for me, because it's not very nice. But it made me think of a stereotype. And you know what? I think it looked really, really good online. It looked really good online. And when I opened it and got, like, at home, it doesn't do anything for me. I'm not getting anything from it at all. I'm not getting any emotion from it. I loved these backgrounds. They were dreamy. I think at the time, it's going to sound funny. Here we go with like personal associations again. Something about it was giving me like, I don't know, like fantasy, like Lord of the Rings vibes or something. You know, like I love like purples and like these misty mountains and stuff. But I just feel really guilty owning this because this wasn't cheap and I never use it. And it's out of print. So this one, I think I should sell this one. Because I am a collector, and it's gotten to that point where it's like, what are you doing? And my daughter's like, if you sold it, you'd probably just like get some other deck that you want. And I'm like, yeah, maybe, but maybe not right away. Yeah, I get why people like it, but it just doesn't, I'm not getting anything from it. And I really thought that I was going to. I thought it was going to be a mood. It was going to be a mood. You know what I mean? Like, I love these backs. I love the Ouroboros, but it's not doing anything for me. So I haven't decided 100%, but I'm pretty sure that I should sell it. I don't know. I know we change a lot. Like, everyone says that. Like, I sold this deck and then I regretted it. But, I mean, I have so many. So let's see. What else do we have? The Osho Zen. Now, this is a great deck. This is a great deck. This one I don't think that I would sell. I think if anything, it'd be something that I would probably give to someone. You know, like if they were visiting me and it really spoke to them, it would be a gift. Because this deck actually, I might not ever get rid of it because there's sentimental value, but it's also, it's kind of a funny relationship I have with it. It's not that it makes me think of a bad time. It feels like it's filled with this energy that I expelled through a really, really difficult time. And this deck, it was there for me. It helped me through that time. And you would think that because of that, this would be a deck that I would come back to, but no. That experience for me was so, I don't want to say traumatizing, but it was such a hard time. And this got me through it. I feel like I've moved beyond this, and this just belongs in this like safe, sacred space. Like, I've moved on from this. I don't need this anymore. This is in the past. I don't know how to articulate how I feel about it. I'm sure it'll come to me later, like while I'm watching this, you know, to make edits and things. But the Osho Zen, I'll just kind of tell you, like, at the time, I've mentioned in other videos how, like, I went through a divorce and stuff. So a few years ago, it happened to me twice. I went through a period of time where I was sort of homeless. So that was really, really difficult. Like, I was fine. You know, I had a roof over my head and everything. I had my daughter. She had to, like, it happened to me like 2 weeks before school was to resume. It was insane. I had to quickly scramble to see if I could get her in to another school. It was nuts. But that kind of explains to you why, like, this helped me through that time. This was a deck that I bought while I call it exile, while I was in exile. And if you're going to use the deck for healing, use the guidebook. Use the guidebook. Because they're like affirmations that really work. And, you know, it's, you know, based on like the Zen Buddhism and everything, and it's wonderful. And I was also reading like a book by the Dalai Lama at the time that also really helped. There were other tools that I used, but this one really, there were a few cards that really, really hit home for me and helped me to change my experience. And I did grow from it. Like, I do, you know, there were lessons that I learned just through my own inner workings that have stayed with me. So in ways, now that I'm past that, of course, like, I'm grateful for every experience because that's life. This card here, this is, I think this is the Knight of Discs, the Knight of Pentacles. So if you're just going to use this deck based on like your own, you know, lexicon of titles, you know, words associated with the, you know, Rider-Waite system or the Thoth or Marseille or what have you. I don't know exactly what you get out of this, but if you use the book, it talks all about how, you know, the turtle or the tortoise carries his home with him everywhere. This is his home. And I wasn't at home. So it made me, anyway, I'm not going to talk about it anymore because, you know, it's kind of personal. But yeah, I don't think I would ever sell this. I think this would be like a gift to a loved one, but I don't ever use this deck, and it does kind of it takes up space. And I do highly recommend this deck. I do. It's a really, really great deck. It really is. I never use this one. I love that it has this great big guidebook on, you know, the Greek myths. And I think one of the reasons that I haven't used it is because I wanted to use the deck alongside the book. And it's not that I found the book daunting. It's just that I'm always reading something. I'm always studying something. And I just haven't made the time to study and use this guidebook for whatever reason. I think I got distracted by other things. I kept buying other things. Now this is, you know this deck. It's like a redrawn version of, I forget who illustrated the original one. And I wanted the original one, but I could never find it within my price range. I wasn't exactly sold on either of them, though, honestly. Like, I like them, but I also, I don't know. I struggle to find a deck that really does it for me. Stylistically, atmospherically, with the Greek myths. I don't think that I'm going to part with this one, but I have thought of it. I've thought about it because I don't use it. Like, if it was worth a lot of money, like the other one, probably. That would be an incentive. I've had this for quite a while, like a long time. I think I got this back in like 2017 or something. So here's a deck that I also, now speaking of the Osho Zen, which helped me through that tough time, another deck that I got during that same time period was this. I put it in this little bag that I crocheted. I crocheted it while I was there in exile. It's the Spiral Tarot. And the reason that I bought it was I did love it, but I bought it specifically when I was going through that tough time to give myself a project. If you've seen that deck, you know that it has these really, really weird purple borders. And they're also really hard to trim off because the bottom is like, I don't know, it's really weird. But I found a way to trim it. And I knew other people had done it. And I rounded the corners by hand, like with scissors, because I bought a corner rounder, and when it arrived, it wasn't the right angle. It was too large. So, and I edged it in this gold that's kind of worn off a bit. This deck is like, it's some of the most beautiful artwork I've seen, these paintings in a Rider-Waite-Smith deck. Like, I love this Four of Swords, but I never use this deck. Now, I'm never going to get rid of it because I love the art too much, but I think this is the opposite of what the Osho Zen did, is that I associate it with a really rough time. Now, there's other decks that I was using during that time that I'm fine using. They don't traumatize me, like the Albano Waite, any of the Thoth decks. I forget some of the Japaridzi. But I think the reason that this one, I don't think it's because the images do nothing for me. I think it's because I would work on this deck when I was in a very vulnerable state emotionally, like on my darkest days, where I was, you know, just sort of, I don't want to say overcome, but feeling really sad and homesick. My voice did not crack because I was crying. It's actually, my throat is dry. I would pull this out and work on trimming it and rounding the corners, just to have an activity. I can't, it's hard for me to sit still. I have to be active, especially if I'm upset. So I think that's why I would bring this deck out when I was having my worst days. and I think that's why. But I don't think I'd ever get rid of this because Spiral Tarot. I love the art, but it's it's a shame that I don't use it. The Druid Craft is a deck that I've owned for a really long time, and I'm not going to get rid of it. I've mentioned before, like, I love the art of Will Worthington. But I don't know why. It's so weird. Every time I've tried to use this deck, now I haven't tried in a while, so I should try again. I don't connect with it at all. I don't know why I don't connect with it. It's so weird. I'm trying to figure out why. I want to connect with it. I recommend this deck to people. Like, I've had friends who have gotten into tarot and they've asked me, like, what are some good beginner decks? And I always talk about this deck. It's a great beginner deck. It's a great deck for anyone who, you know, resonates with it. I don't know why I can't connect with it. I'll lay cards out and I don't get anything. But I should try it again. I mean, like, his people, I've mentioned it before, his people just look like real people. Like there's this depth of character, you know? Like, these people have souls. Yeah. So that's the Druid Craft. And I did trim this. And I left the corners like this. I'm not sure if I want to trim the entire border off or not. I don't know if that would help me connect with it more. I don't know. And I didn't buy the larger edition of this because I liked this little box. And I was also, like I said, trying to, I was trying to keep my collection small and tidy. So I didn't want something on the bulky side. Okay, this is a deck that I've thought of selling. Okay, the Serpent and the Peacock Tarot. So I love the Middle Ages. I think I've talked about this before. But I really do. I like the art that was used here. But the thing is, okay, the story behind this deck is this is really funny. I bought this accidentally. Has that ever happened to any of you? I bought this and I didn't mean to. I was on eBay really late one night because that's what I do sometimes. If after I've read my book, if I still can't get to sleep, I just I go on my phone. And I had looked at this. I had looked at it. I wasn't watching it. You know what I mean? On eBay, I had looked at it. And I got a notification that I received an offer. And I could have sworn that I just hit, like, you know, review the offer. And I did not accept the offer. I could have sworn I didn't. It was really late at night. But the next day, in my email, it's like, you're committed to buy this. I was like, what? And I tried to cancel, and I couldn't. I couldn't. It said I couldn't back out. I didn't want to message the seller because I was worried that if they told me, I felt like it was a no-win situation. I don't know. I can be really sensitive like this. I was worried that if they told me no, like, you're committed to buy, that I would be stuck with this deck, and then I would hate the deck because I would have, like, a bad relationship with it because of an unpleasant experience with the seller. And then I worried that, it also made me feel bad. Like, I also didn't want to contact the seller and say, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to buy your deck. That would have made me feel bad because I think it was sold by the creator. And it wasn't that, you know, this probably was a deck that I probably would have thought of buying. That's probably why I was looking at it, but I didn't have the money for it at the time. I mean, I was able to swing it, but it was like $50, you know. It was an accident. So yeah, I don't use it because I kind of forget that I have it. But we'll see. I'll try to do a better job of using it. And if I still don't end up using it, that might be one that I pass on. So let's see, were there any other decks that I wanted to talk about? Yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying, I don't know. I just sort of felt like coming on here and saying hi. Like I want to do, like a, I don't know, like maybe like a March wrap up video, even though it's April now. There's a couple of tags I want to respond to. I hope I don't get like ill again this month. Speaking of that, this just arrived on Being Ill by Virginia Woolf, because this is a perfect book for me. I've talked about this before, how okay, when my daughter was a toddler, I noticed that when I would come down with a flu or something, not that it was ever pleasant, but I actually learned, I found a coping mechanism of embracing those times, because I realized like, and it was also a humorous sort of perspective that, wow, I'm sick, I get to relax, because when I'm sick, it's the only time that I actually do relax. And that's different now. That has changed, but especially when I was younger, I was always overwhelmed by everything that I wanted to do and all the things that I had to do as a mother, and, you know, around the house and everything. All the books that I wanted to read, and my, you know, my fitness and my art, and I used to play piano too. I stopped that because I don't have time. But yeah, on Being Ill. So yeah, she talks here about how illness enhances our perceptions and it reduces self-consciousness. It's the great confessional. And yeah, that definitely, I feel like I'm in a confessional when I'm sick and I'm in the shower and I'm just, yeah, it's just like, I don't know. This is probably a really weird all over the place sort of video, but like I said, I've been feeling like really cranky, and yeah, just think of that reading that I showed you from this morning, you know. And it's not that I'm giving up. No. I'm just feeling like this, you know. So I just thought if I came on here, I might expel some energy. So we'll see. If anyone's interested in any of the decks that I talked about, I might get rid of. I'm not sure yet, but if anyone's interested in them, and if I do decide to sell, I'll keep people in mind. So anyway, thanks for visiting. Bye.